Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another installment of the podcast, Marketers Who Can't Market. Who's the podcast for? People like you and me who get stuck every once in a while trying to figure out what the hell it is that we're doing in this sales and marketing world, this online sales and marketing world, or brick and mortar, whatever you're doing. We're here to help you get past some of these humps and bumps along the way and get back to building business because that's a little bit more fun. Marketing is fun too, but being stuck is not fun, right? But being stuck is part of the game, right? And if we're doing a good job, we keep at it. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about this idea of persistence and what it means to you. Persistence, perseverance. And I was reminded of this idea. I was trying to think about what to talk about today, and I wasn't really settling on anything after my big, massive book review yesterday. That just somewhat exhausted me, but I thought it was pretty good. There's some good books in that list. You should check it out if you haven't checked out the podcast from May 19th, 2021. Today's the 20th, and there's some good reading in there. And so I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today, and then I had this, my memory... not my memory. What am I talking about? The rain is getting to my head today. It's raining like crazy today here in Japan. My brain is a little bit slow. Maybe it's some wine from last night. Woohoo. Possibly. Both things. But I didn't know what to talk about. And I was walking up the steps to the train, exiting the train station today on my way home. And to my left was a woman taking the stairs at a kind of very, very slow crawl, which is a very, very common thing that you see here in Japan. I'm very young. I'm a kind of a child here in Japan. If you look around, there are so many people who are almost literally double my age. I'm 51, and they are everywhere, and they are still highly mobile. It is really an impressive scene of humanity to see these people just kind of going on, right? I mean, it's no joke to say that these people are in their 80s, their upper 80s, 90s. Some of them very well may be 100 that I see walking around on the streets every day. And it's really a remarkable thing to see. And in Kobe, I live on a mountain. And as I was walking up the steps today and I saw this woman kind of taking it slow, she gave me the idea to talk about perseverance and persistence because it's everywhere here in Japan. And as I was about to say, I live on the mountain. And there's a woman that I've seen on occasion. She has kind of like in Japan, there are a lot of people with... there are a lot of older people, particularly women, who deal with kind of a hunched over appearance, this kyphosis, and it's a very unfortunate thing, and it's something I've never seen, to my memory at least, in America. And I've traveled around different countries. I don't recall seeing it in Korea or in China or in Europe, anywhere. Maybe occasionally you see someone with a very bad hunch, but here in Japan, it's quite a frequent thing to see. And I'm not talking about like a little curve in the upper back. I'm talking about this sort of spinal bend that puts someone almost in the shape of a C. The people who have this condition, unfortunately, they cannot even raise their heads up. So they're walking, literally looking at the ground. And it's very unfortunate. And I live on the mountain, and there's this woman that I see regularly, and I see her. I'm kind of in the middle of the mountain, height-wise, and I see her usually at my level, but occasionally I walk very, very high up towards in some of the upper neighborhoods, and I've seen her up there as well. So she must live near the top of this mountain, and I see her at my level, and I see her all the way down at the bottom of the mountain. So for me, it's about a 15-minute walk to the train station area, basically. And for her, it must take her, no kidding, it must take her like 2 hours to make this walk from her house to down towards the base of, or to reach the base of the mountain. And when I see her, she walks very, very slowly. So remember, she can't see straight, and she's not looking with her, she's not standing erect, and so she's not looking in front of her. She's looking at the ground at her feet, essentially, or as probably as far away from her feet as she's able to look, so she can kind of get some sense of direction. So I see her, and she walks, and she takes a few steps. She might walk for maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes, because I've been behind her many times. She might walk for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then she stops. So sometimes she stops in place, and she just kind of like pauses to kind of maybe take a breath. Just kind of, it must be physically exhausting to do this. Occasionally, I will see her actually stop and sit down on a curb somewhere. So you can imagine how long it would take to traverse the mountain. 15 minutes from where I live, basically down. She's about double the distance up. So maybe from the top of the mountain, if you walked at a normal pace, it would take you maybe 25 minutes or a half hour to get to the bottom. And she's doing it. And she's not only going down the mountain, of course, she's going up the mountain. And up the mountain is not fun. For me, even. I have to do it carrying groceries, and it's a pain in the ass. It's especially in the summertime. It's hot as hell, and it's really, really crazy. So I see this woman all the time, and it's really, really amazing. And the last time I saw her walking up the mountain, and she had just been to what we call a Shotengai here, which is a like a shopping street, basically. So she had been to the Shotengai. She is now past all of the shopping area and was walking back home through the neighborhood. So it seemed like she walked down the mountain to make this singular trip to the Shotengai to pick up something. And what she was carrying were 2 bags of flowers, plants actually, in pots. So this woman walked all the way down the mountain, maybe 2 hours, to buy plants. And it was so incredible to see, and I will never forget it. And despite having seen her before and thinking, wow, this is a remarkable thing that this woman has to do to get around, I didn't have that sight of her just being a person and wanting to pick up something beautiful for her house. Really, really cool. And it made me realize, like, how you just have to kind of keep going. These people have not given up at all on life. Sometimes in business we have to give up, and that's something I want to talk about too, because it's always puzzling to me, because I am kind of like always going, and I don't know when to stop myself. And sometimes you can beat an idea to death, and it doesn't really pan out for you. So you have to know when to quit when it comes to business, but you have to keep persisting in business if you want to create a business, right? Maybe one idea is not the one that's going to work for you. But you have to at least keep at it if you want to work for yourself, if you want to grow a company and help support other people. You got to kind of keep at it, right? So I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to hopefully encourage you to think about what it is that you might be slowing down on. What do you think that you can't do? Have you given up on something that you shouldn't you shouldn't have given up on? I never thought that if I was 90, I would be climbing a mountain, but these people do it all the time. In Japan, you see people running. This is another thing that fascinates me. Like, people try to catch lights, because we walk everywhere or we take the train. There's cars, obviously, but most people are doing one of those two things: walking or cycling, or taking the train. And what you see here is you see older people. You see people again in their 70s, easily in their 70s, running across the street to catch a light. Running, not walking fast, running. I don't even run to catch a light. I'll wait and stop, but they'll do it. You see old people on scooters here. That's really cool. Old people with helmets on and riding motor scooters. I haven't seen any people on motorcycles yet, but they're like they don't have kind of like no idea that they're old, I think, or what is considered old. They just keep at it. So you got to keep at it, right? I want to share this quote with you. When I was a kid, I used to have this. I cut this out of a newspaper. I think I was in college actually when I first saw this quote. It's from Ross Perot, and I had it on my refrigerator for years. And then when I moved, I kind of don't like things on my refrigerator. It clutters the hell out of the appearance. So I stopped putting it on the refrigerator. But I really love the quote, and I essentially remembered it. I still remember it today, but I wanted to look it up to get it exact in sharing it with you. So Ross Perot said, most people give up when they're about to, most people give up just when they're about to achieve success. They quit on the 1 yard line. They give up at the last minute of the game on 1 foot from winning a touchdown. And I'll screw that up again. Most people give up just when they're about to achieve success. They quit on the 1 yard line. They give up at the last minute of the game, 1 foot from a winning touchdown. And that's probably true with a lot of things. And if you're a business person, this is what kind of, you know this, right? Don't give up. And that's what keeps us going maybe a little too long sometimes. So this should be a book, really, right? And I wish I could write it, but I don't know the answer. Like, when do you quit? I mean, interview people maybe, and something I should put on my docket. Figure out when the hell you quit. I also used to like this quote by Woodrow Wilson, which is all about persistence, and you're probably familiar with that as well. I didn't look that up, but I'll post it maybe below. The idea that if you're really, really smart, it only gets you so far. If you're really talented, it only gets you so far. You got to keep on going, right? So that's it, really. I just wanted to kind of bring this to your attention today, and maybe have you think about it. What are you maybe considering giving up? What have you already given up? This could be about anything. This could be business, this could be love, this could be your health. These days I've been working. For example, I've been working so hard on my business that I've kind of allowed myself to get a little fat. And my wife and I ran a kind of marathon distance last year from Osaka to Kyoto, and I was able to do that because I was training, obviously, right? I was watching essentially what I ate and moving around. But the winter here, I took advantage of being off from school. We had a long winter break, and I got kind of fat. I started eating not really bad food either, right? I'm just quantity-wise. Like, I love potatoes, so like every morning I'm eating potatoes. 2, 3 potatoes. They're always different sizes here, so I'm trying to like fill up this baking tray I have. So today, like literally, I have 4 potatoes. Who eats 4 potatoes? I do. And maybe probably drinking a little bit too much, and nuts. Nuts will make you fat. Be careful with the nuts. They're good. I used to not eat nuts all the time because I was afraid of getting cold sores. Do you know that, by the way? If you get cold sores, one of the what's the word? Amino acids. Yeah, one of the amino acids that I think that contributes to growing cold sores, or not growing, contributes to the arrival of a cold sore is this amino acid called arginine. And nuts are like one of the highest levels of arginine in them. So I always used to avoid nuts because of the arginine in them, and in the past they definitely contributed to me having a cold sore outbreak. This is a totally different topic, right? Welcome to the podcast. This happens. This is real life. Like Emerald Lagasse used to say, we're really cooking here, right? So I'm talking about being healthy, right? So I never used to eat nuts. But then here in Japan, I started eating nuts all the time. And I never get cold sores. I don't know what the hell's happening to my body. Maybe I'm generally healthier, I think, and maybe happier. And I don't know why, but it does not. I rarely ever get a cold sore. Maybe I get 2 a year. That's freaking weird, actually. I used to get them all the time, at least every other month, probably in America. So something in the air in Japan keeps cold sores away. I don't know. But anyway, I got fat. So, not just a little bit more than I like to have. It's a little uncomfortable in some of my pants. And I could kind of give up. I could be like, well, I just got fat and this is the way I should be. This is my like standard weight. But I have to like shake myself out of that attitude and I have to do something about it, right? So tomorrow, as today was like kind of my last day screwing around. I ate all the potatoes I had in the house today. That's why I had four. And tomorrow back to my regular self again. You know, to some degree, Corona has thrown off a lot of things. I used to go to the gym. I can't go to the gym anymore. So other people probably have had this issue arise as a result of Corona. But that's not an excuse for me to not take care of myself, right? So there you have it. Persistence and perseverance. When you're thinking about giving up, think about 90-year-old women who can't see in front of them climbing the mountains of Kobe. And you will think you're maybe not working as hard as them. And that's a good thing, right? So that's it for today, May 20th. Kind of short and sweet today. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you had a wonderful day. Please reach out to me if you'd like to be interviewed on the podcast. We're going to change up the game here fairly soon. I wanted to get a few of these under my belt, and then I want to start talking with people. So I may list this in places where I could get guests. If you would like to be a guest, if you have something to talk about, marketing, sales related, business related, please do reach out. Hit me up at doc@nihonhustle.com, NIHONHUSTLE.com. You can also drop a comment in here, which I'll see. They're all moderated, but I will see it. And of course, like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube-y kind of stuff. Share it if you want to introduce the podcast to people. And there's a little bell that you can click for notifications that'll tell you when the next one is coming, but they're always every day. So you can always catch up that way too, okay? Also, visit me on nihonhustle.com if you want. If you're thinking about business tools, you need business tools, I do reviews of products there. And I have all sorts of things specific to starting a business in Japan. So if you're thinking about doing business in Japan, I have lots of stuff there for you. There's a growing section where I'm pulling apart English language resources for the most part in each of the 47 prefectures in Japan, so you can connect with people who can help you start a business here if you live in Japan already, or if you want to do business from overseas, you want to connect with people, or you want to open a branch here, anything. All sorts of stuff going on at nihonhustle.com. Check it out. All right, that's it for today, May 20th, 2021. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Peace out from Kobe. See ya.